Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
I'm going to count down the top 10 vehicles in Brook City, and away we go. For number 10, we're going to have the two planes from Delta Keys. These get you on and off the island. They're pretty much useless unless you're playing with that variant, and there's no miniature to go with them. They're just, you get on, you get off. Not a whole lot to these, and they're the worst ones in the game, by far. But if you're going to play Delta Keys, they will help you get back on and off that island. They're really your only help. Number 9 is a skutt skimmer. You can get on it at the Glen Docks, and you basically move in water. So a lot of restrictions here. It's a nice boat if you want to get through the water spaces. It's not the best one, but it'll kind of move you through water. It's not the only thing that'll move you through water. It's definitely the worst one that'll move you through water, though. Number 8 is a Yolanda. Now, this one you get on the Yacht Club. And the reason why I like this one better than the other one is because this one will allow you to get rid of stress if you exhaust it. If you're like me, my number one lose condition is probably stress. And this will actually help you get rid of it because it's a yacht. Why wouldn't it, right? Everybody likes to be on a yacht. And it's kind of cool that this one loses the stress, and the skutt skimmer, which isn't as nice, does not get rid of your stress. Otherwise, they pretty much act exactly the same. I like being able to get rid of that stress because it is something that will kill me in almost every single game of Brook City. So, if you want to get through water, head to the Yacht Club and lose some stress while you're there. Number 7 is going to be the Bradville and the Suburbido, the station wagon. They pretty much work the same to me. They're going to help you with different stuff. One's going to help you with the cop actions, one's going to help you with radio actions, and they both can be exhausted to move in additional space. So, you know, they're pretty much a wash depending on what kind of outcome that you want. You know, you're going for the cop hat, you're going for the radio. They give you the same bonus, just in a different area, and they move just to one spot. So, I mean, if I had to pick which one to drive, I would definitely drive the station wagon with the wood paneling. That is so Brady Bunch and retro to me. But, I mean, pretty much the same depending on what kind of role you're looking for, and then to only move one time. Number 6 is going to be a tie between the Quixini and the Claxton compensator. They're both going to help you with guns, and they work exactly the same. You exhaust them, you can move 2 spaces. Other than the look of the cars, they act exactly the same. I can't see a difference between these two cars at all. The Claxton reduces the target's resistance by 1, and then the Quixini gives you an extra die. So if you're trying to get the resistance down, if it's already at 0, then you want the other one. But pretty much they're very, very similar depending on what you want. Do you need a die or do you need a resistance? So I made a tie in this regards. Both are driving with style. One looks like a Lamborghini. The other one looks like is a convertible. Very fun to drive, and the ladies will like you in it. Number 5 is going to be Sprinter D. This is what I thought about having lower, but it's not as specific as some of the other ones. This is going to be the cop car that you get in Keys to the Kingdom, and you can start with this car. It's going to allow you to move diagonal, and you can exhaust it to move in extra space. Quite honestly, I didn't like it as much as the original car, obviously because it's lower, and I'll tell you why when we get there. But it was okay. Being able to move diagonal is nice. There's some other cars that allow you to do that with some extra perks. But I didn't like the power, the exhaust power, as much as the original cop car. I felt like it was kind of a downgrade. But whenever I play Keys to the Kingdom, I have to bust out these cars for sure for thematic purposes. Number 3 is the Coyote. So each time you suffer stress while driving, you may place it and you discard 3 stress. So if you're in a situation, or there's some characters that can take on stress, put it on this car, get in the car, take your stress, and if the criminals are stressing you out or whatever, they can put on this car instead of yourself. So it's kind of a way to, like, for temporary purposes, you can increase the amount of maximum stress that you can take, and this car can accomplish for that. Like I stated earlier, I lose a lot in this game by having too much stress, so a car like this can definitely help me out. Now, if you're somebody who never loses by stress and you're able to maintain it pretty well, then something like this may not be as valuable to you. Maybe something else would be higher. But for my playing purposes, this is one, especially against some of the villains that give you a lot of stress, or cases that give you a lot of stress, this car can be a lifesaver for you. Number 3 is going to be the Rose Buzzard and the Thrasher. Now, these two work pretty similar. They're both motorcycles, and you can move 2 while you're going the Road Buzzard, and the Thrasher you can exhaust, move 2, but you can also move diagonally, which can be nice sometimes. You also have ditch effects. When you're driving, you can move 2. and you can move through water areas in this. So it's kind of like a hybrid thing where you can go through the water. So if you're trying to cut through the board right where that water is, you can just kind of jump over it. You just can't end in the water. Obviously, motorcycles can't float, but you can definitely jump over it, right? And it'll give you that movement over that. So it can be very, very fun. And for that regard, I find these very powerful, especially around where the harbor is at. You don't have to go all the way around and come down. I can just get on a motorcycle and go right across it, which is very, very nice. So in that regards, I like this one quite a bit. Number 2 is one you probably didn't think I'd put so high, is a dingle hipper. And what makes this one so good is it moves one space at a time, but it can go inside locations, and it's so fun to like go through the buildings in my little car. Instead of having to go around a block or whatever, with this guy, a little moped, you go right through it. So it's not going to have the speed that you're going to look for in most of these, but it's going to have, in a way it does, because you go right through those buildings. And if you can get this guy out and you don't have to go all the way around or something, it definitely saves you some space to go right through, just like you're kind of running through it, if you will. But I like this guy. It's really fun to kind of race through it. And it's something I like to show people the first time they're playing. Like, oh, look at this. You're driving through, like Italian Job or something, or a Bond movie. It's really, really fun and cool thematically to get in this moped and go up the stairs of a building and run through it. Maybe a surprise, maybe not. My favorite car is actually the starter car that you get, the regular cruiser. And the reason why I like it so much is that you can ditch it for a one-time power of going anywhere on the board. If you get desperate, this is something you will use. Like, I can get right there to get out of jail free card, and I like that aspect a lot. Otherwise, it doesn't go through buildings, doesn't move diagonal. It's a little wonky a little bit as moving and chugging along. But that power, you can also exhaust it. You move one for each crime, so you start getting a lot of crime in your area. You can turn those lights on, and you're busting through the city. I like it. It's a very versatile car. It's one I hate to ditch because it is my favorite car, and I like going in it. And old Betsy, she is a beaut. Well, thanks for watching the countdown of my favorite vehicles in Brook City. I'm assuming this would generate a lot of discussion about what people liked and what they didn't like and how versatile some of these cars can be. And I'm really interested to hear what you have to say of how you utilize these cars in ways maybe I haven't thought of to help you win a little bit more and have an advantage in the game. Because these cars are all here to be our advantage and do different things. What's your favorite? Is there a car that you've used in a way I haven't thought about yet which makes it more valuable? Please let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. We're a small channel. We are here putting out content, and I really like your support. Thanks, and see you guys next time.